Hey guys, how's it going? So I made a few changes. I'm going to be testing two more builds with this Holy Shock build. So the main change here that we're going to do is I'm going to keep doing the bear, but we've swapped to a Shaefers. With 4 sockets or an IS slam, you can reach the required IS for 5 frames, so it'll be a little bit slower than bear, than the two-hander, but it does allow me to use a shield and then change out some of my gear so I have a um, much higher Holy Shock damage. I think it gets to 28k after BO, so it should be a little bit better. We're gonna do a Cham one here. It's pretty much the same as Zod, just to test the damage, see how it's doing. The nice thing about Shaefers, which I'm not gonna change just yet, um, is it has a lot of AR because it has 720 AR at my level, which is actually really good. So I actually dropped my Raven and I put on the BK. I'm waiting on an AR BK, but I haven't found one, or the guy's not on, so we're gonna go without it, and we're just gonna go in like this. I'll pick up a pot in there, I'm sure. Okay, so let's go inside. So the Holy Shield does persist through your bear transform, so you can actually get the bear frames. You can actually get the bear frames, sorry, the Holy Shield frames in bear form, which is really nice because that's generally why you don't want to run a shield in bear. Aside from the fact that you can get really quick two-handers, is the block animation is terrible, but we're going to try to avoid that block animation. There's a lot of guys here, I don't really want to deal with all this. Probably have to start killing now. Yeah, it's such a strange area here, like the fact how dense this is, and I'm sure you saw in some of the other videos, it was very not dense. And this one I would definitely get enough potions, so it's really strange path I find there. Okay, so we're gonna try to go in here and take it a bit slow there. So Shaefers has static as well. It has a less proc chance, but you still get the static, and the attack speed's pretty good. So I do not have any freeze on right now, which is the downside about losing the Raven. So that's kind of annoying. Aside from that, some of these bear runs just feel awful if you get FHR down like crazy. I am doing the 86 FHR, which is good, but I find this phase 1 is just always awful. Um, yeah, like you do notice a bit of the spire damage being higher because I don't have the cold absorb on Raven, so that does matter a little bit. These golems not dying or getting really close to not dying is, I don't think the Shaefers problem. I think it's just I had really bad luck with the knockback, as you see here, was fine to clear them all. So that is an issue. You know, when you're in the standard Zeal, it is a bit easier because you can just joust around. That's kind of, you don't have to deal with this running back and forth. So, yeah, that is what it is there. Not the greatest, but let's see how it does in the other rounds. So we have a bit higher AR now. It would be a little bit higher into the 5k if we had that AR BK ring, but I'm kind of just waiting on that, so that would help a bit, but we are reaching the, so 29k after my enchant, I guess. 29k Holy Shock, which is quite nice. So we're attacking a little bit slower, but we're getting harder hits. I think we were at 23k. Let's move some of these away. I guess the other change, I think, I don't know if I talked about at the beginning, is since I'm using a shield, I can use my Griffins again, which gives us, you know, that additional 1-to-all skill and more lightning mastery. That's kind of why we have a higher damage. And I've changed to the offensive aura amulet instead of the metal grid. That's because I can pretty much hit the res on my shield, so I don't have to use my the metal grid, and I have enough AR with the Shaefers. So that's really the reason there. Also, I did not do, as always, I did not cast my oak. I think if I holy shield, I'm like forgetting to do. Well, there's like so many things to do with the bear at the beginning of the video that I keep forgetting. So, but it's a bit better health now. So, and you can see the animation still pretty fast for this. Could be better, but so I'm excited. So the other thing is this: is I am going to do Zeal. I don't know if I'll do Declone first and then with the bear and then try Zeal. Probably what I'll do. I do have to get a new shaft stop, so it'll just take me a little bit to do that. But I'm interested to see what Zeal looks like with the Shaefer, since I can reach a really good breakpoint with that. I won't be able to meet the max breakpoint, but I get a pretty quick one, I believe. And it should be a bit better than this, I'm hoping, since I can get a bit more, bit more mobility, and I'll still have the static, which is really nice. The damage should be roughly the same. It'll be a little bit more because I'm leveling up Zeal, and the ED of Zeal plus the Shaefers will add a little bit of damage, but realistically, it's that's the only thing I don't like about this bear being a little bit slower in Shaefers is that when you get decrepit, you feel it more. You're definitely feeling the decrepit a bit more. But for Declone, this would be just better, I think, because you get 75 block, you get the Holy Shield block frame, so the archers will be more manageable. And your damage should be about the same. You know, using the two-hander Stormspire is really nice, but it is really hard to keep your res high, and that's kind of why you lose a lot of life as well. I didn't respec here yet either, and I can definitely afford to respec and gain a lot more life because I don't need the dex anymore. But I've been waiting to do that until I get that ARBK, just so I can respec around my AR. Because the idea is I'd want to keep my AR around this level. Oops, I don't want to do that. I would keep my AR around where it is here after having the BK on, and then put the rest into life. Because I have such high dex from the Stormspire, plus I added a little bit extra just to have it higher, since the Stormspire had pretty low attack rating even after enchant. The other thing you could do, I mean, you could try to boost AR even more and then drop using the enchant Demon Limb, which one less swap would be quite nice. But I'd have to play around a little bit, since you have no like percent AR scaling. It's pretty hard to get anything reasonable. I don't think I'd be able to get to 4K, but 3K is definitely something I could do if I went back to Metal Grid, went back to the Raven. Then I can drop doing the enchant. It wouldn't be more damage or anything, but it would be less of a fumble. So if you didn't want to swap 3 weapons at the beginning of every fight, I would definitely do that. I really should be full clearing this area every time, because I would have been probably 92 by now instead of still 91 from all these kills. But that is what it is. Yeah, I also got to shout out Darmy today. He's helped me out a lot with some additional runes for these runs, and some gear, and also Arts. He was a big help in the early runs, and recently Arts was the one that helped me get this Shafer and Violet, so that was actually huge. So really thankful for these guys for helping me out. I kind of just do these projects for fun. I think people enjoy watching it, but really, I think people just help me just as friends, which is, it's nice. So really appreciate it. Okay, let's see if we don't fumble this here. We got some pretty quick phases here. Damage feels really good on the knight still. It's only the decrep that sucks. Kind of eating a bit more damage on purpose. Like, not to just take more damage, but I'm just trying not to risk any dying and such, so it's just easier if you face tank some damage as opposed to trying to dodge. And we go. So that was Bear with Shaefers. I think it was pretty close to the Storm Spire, which is kind of nice because I think it's actually easier to gear this one. The Shaefers is very hard to get, but if you did get it, the gearing options are much easier. So I'll just go through what I have here. So Shaefers with 4 shales. I think you need 110 IAS, so you can do an IAS slam one, which would give you between 70 and 80 IAS, and then 2 shales on that would hit your 110. So that's also an option. Then the Venom Ward, Griffins, just in a 2 offensive ammy with some max. This could definitely be a +1 instead. I could just drop some res here. That would make a lot more sense. I'm using a 3-socket Hoz. It only has a 1 to combat skills, but I like the 3 sockets for the res and some facets. I just have some temporary facets in there. Blood Fists, I picked those up to get this 86 FHR. As I said, the Run Walk, BK for now, T-Gods, Natures, just some res boots. And I have my standard charms still with the offensives. I do still need to improve some of these. I just haven't been doing that yet. Skills, same as always here. We have the max Holy Shock with 24k on here. Then we're maxing Blessed Aim, Resist Lightning, Salvation. Since we're not doing Zeal, I'm throwing everything else here. If we were doing Zeal, then you'd be putting points here. So the next video, I don't know if it'll be Bear Declone or if it's going to be the Zeal version of this, but we'll see. All right, later.